In this video, I will review the trade desk, ticker symbol TTD. Stay to the end. I'll let you know if this is a stock I will buy or sell. If you don't know me, I'm Tepper, the founder and CEO of Tykr. If you're new to investing or want to get better at investing, rest assured you are in the right place. Here at Tykr, we help investors buy and sell stocks with confidence. All right, in this video, I'll touch on 4 things. Number 1, what does the trade desk do? Number 2, the latest news. Number 3, let's take a look at the trade desk in Tykr. And number 4, I'll let you know if this is a stock I will buy or sell. So number 1, what does the trade desk do? So think of it like a platform that controls multiple advertising channels all in one location. For example, you can control Google ads, Facebook ads, and up to about 400 different platforms where you can, for example, let's say you want to advertise in multiple locations, you can go on multiple platforms all at the same time, kind of keep everything organized in the same tool. Some of their biggest customers include Walmart, Volkswagen, and Samsung. All right, number 2, let's touch on the latest news. But first, let's jump to Tykr. I'll show you the chart here. Check this out. Going to the 1 year, you can see there was a major drop off here back in, this was around February. I see around February 11th or 12th. So what happened? Well, there was a potential legal issue. It was actually alleged securities fraud between May of 24 and February 25. So what went down? They're working on a new product called Kokai, Kokai, which is an AI tool used for forecasting. It was delayed, which caused negative news. Share price went down, people lost money, and then they were like, hey, let's go after Trade Desk and let's start to get some money back. I don't see any news like this is going to actually happen, but is, again, an alleged securities fraud issue. There are other details in there within, but that's a simplified version of the story. Well, ironically, the share price is now taking off like a rocket. So how is that happening? Well, they had an amazing earnings report. And this is a reminder that if you want to know why do stocks go up and why do stocks go down, it's typically the earnings reports. There's 2 main things. There's numerous other things to pay attention to, but the 2 main things include EPS, that's essentially the profits of the company. Are they increasing quarter over quarter? And number 2, the earnings report. Did they beat that estimate? We're going to take a look at Tykr here in a second. Let's get into the news a little bit more. I was kind of browsing through Tykr here. One of the tabs you can go to is news. You can actually see what are people talking about. And there's actually a lot of positive news here, people talking about where the share price is going. In fact, you can go to analyst ratings in Tykr. You can see some of the target prices. But anyway, here I was looking at some of the articles, and one article I found mentioned that investors should take advantage of the recent dip. This was actually quoted from Motley Fool Money. All right, so number 3, let's jump into Tykr and take a look at this stock. This will really tell us the truth of what's going on. All right, I'm going to use a methodology here, a framework called the 7. There's a tab here we'll take a look at in a second. It's kind of the easy button. It'll save you time, but I just want to kind of go through it manually so you understand how do we look at stocks in Tykr. So let's go ahead. We'll just take a few minutes here and then we'll get to the end of the video. So looking at Trade Desk, we can see this stock is on sale. If you don't know this, Tykr is really inspired by the traffic lights. We have stocks that are either on sale, watch, or overpriced, essentially green, gray, red. And we can see on sale, looking good. Next up, out of the 7, we have the score. The higher the score, the safer the investment. You can see here 96 out of 100, that's really good. If you can get over 50, that's good. So 96, outstanding. Moving on to step 3, margin of safety. What we do here is we calculate the fair value, see what the share price will be in the future. And we can see here, share price today, 77, or as the recording of this video, 77, but fair value, 387. I'm going to pause here for a second. If you are interested, you can go to Tykr.com and you can go to education and then calculations. All of our calculations are open source for personal use. So you can go ahead, take the calculations, and if you'd like, go create your own version of Tykr. The transparency, a lot of people do respect. So you can see, how do we get to these numbers? Let's keep going here. Number 4, step 4, is in the middle here. This is the 4M confidence booster. This is driven by OpenAI. We'll click on this button here. You can see the 4Ms. You get the margin of safety, which is the math part. Then the meaning is the business model and how many revenue streams does the business have and how scalable are those revenue streams. And you have the moat, It's how it compares to other businesses, and then the management is the track record of the CEO. Doing homework on all 4 manually, like an analyst in Wall Street, that could take you hours, if not days of research. We reduce it down to seconds thanks to OpenAI. All right, so far this stock, incredible. It's 4 for 4. Let's go down. Let's look at the 5-year returns. This is the step 5. Now we do know that past performance does not guarantee future results. However, we do like stocks that consistently beat the market. Good number to remember is 80%. That's typically what the S&P 500 returns over 5 years. You can see here, 159%, doubling. Nice. That's what we want to see. All right, now we'll jump to why did this stock really take off at this latest earnings report. You can see if you drill in here, look at this. It's just taken off like a rocket. It went from what looks like about $49 all the way up to almost 80. So we're getting close to almost 100% return in short order. That's incredible. All right, so let's get into it. Step 6, the financials here, we roll up to that score, which we went over. The key line, the number one most important line, is that earnings per share. We'll flip to quarterly. You can kind of toggle between yearly and quarterly, but check this out. We had 3 quarters in a row. It did drop off. So that's not the metric that's really moving the share price the most. It is positive. We're seeing a profitable company here, which is what you want. You don't want to consistently red. But then let's jump here. Check this out. Earnings calendar. Look at this. They had a 9%, 3%, 3%, and then 32%. There's your culprit. That's the driver behind the massive increase in the share price. So this is a big lesson learned. When you see negative news, especially around a lawsuit or something going on with a company, it's like the market has amnesia. It literally forgets what happened 3 months ago, and then the next earnings report, it can wipe that clean. That's exactly what's happening here. That also happened with a few other stocks like CrowdStrike in the last year and a half or so. This happens all the time. This is another good example. And a reminder, always check. In my case, I like going into Tykr. I will literally go to the financials tab, click on EPS, take a look at these numbers here, and I want to see that increasing EPS, and then I also want to see that earnings calendar beating that estimate. All right, we went through the 7 manually. Let's take a look here on the 7. We want to see a 5 or higher. Let's see what we get. We get a 6 out of 7. That's pretty hard to get to. So nice work. All right, moving on to the last step here, as I mentioned, am I going to buy or sell this stock? At this point, I'm going to add this stock to my watch list. It's very hard to even make it to my watch list. I already have about 10 stocks, and if I sell one of those stocks, I may consider buying Trade Desk. Of course, I'd want to kind of wait for another market pullback. Maybe we'll see another Trump tariff war negotiation. They'll pull these stocks down. Then maybe I would consider selling one of my stocks and getting into this one. But overall, I'm going to let this one sit on my watch list. I'll keep an eye on it and see where it goes from here. If you want to know what stocks to buy and what stocks to sell and see my portfolio, you can go ahead and join Tykr for free. Of course, don't buy and sell stocks based solely on what you're here. Only buy and sell stocks that align with your own personal financial goals. Thanks for checking out this video. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.